Welcome everyone to the 29th Celebrity Synastry chart reading where I will be looking into Selena Gomez and Zayn Malik. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Adeline. I look at the dynamic between two celebrities using astrology, specifically Synastry. For those new and returning, I take notes on a Synastry chart looking at the personal planets, signs, aspects, and birth time available house overlays. I share these notes and add my extra insights and interpretations along the way. And of course, as always, leave your thoughts in the comments below and let's get a discussion going. So if that sounds good to you, like, subscribe, and keep on watching. Starting off with the Sun, we have Zayn's Sun in Capricorn and Selena's Sun in Cancer. These are polarity sister signs and cardinal signs as well. They are opposites, it's a secure relationship, and they appreciate their differences. Zayn's Sun in Selena's 6th house. They're productive together, Zayn is submissive, work is a strong theme here, and it's a boss-assistant relationship. Selena's Sun in Zayn's 4th house. There's a sense of familiarity, Selena trusts Zayn deeply, both are committed to each other, so far we are seeing there is a more secure side to this relationship thus far. Strong desire to live together, Zayn feels secure around Selena, Selena feels they belong together, and Selena is very protective of Zayn. Zayn's Sun squares Selena's Moon. There's a basic understanding, so we did see that with the sense of familiarity. Practical disagreements, Zayn sees Selena as too sensitive and Selena sees Zayn as too rational. There's general discontent and Selena may feel resentful towards Zayn over time. Okay, so from what we're seeing so far, it looks like it started out fine, but there's deteriorating, so we'll see more as we go. Zayn's Sun trines Selena's Mars. They're supportive of each other, there's healthy competitiveness. Neither feels blocked by the other. Zayn admires Selena's drive and courage, can deal with challenges together, encourage the other's goals and visions, so I assume this is kind of relating back to their productivity elements here. Selena expresses her desire for Zayn frequently. Potentially, this is why he sees her as a bit sensitive, maybe too expressive. Express themselves in a straightforward manner. Both can rely on each other when they are demotivated. I see that because they seem to be quite supportive of each other and encouraging. Zayn's Sun conjunct Selena's Uranus. They met each other suddenly. I'm not sure how they met. I'm not sure if they are even together. I think it's just rumored, I believe. So no idea. They are separated at key moments, which makes sense with their careers and everything. They need to embrace spontaneity. It's a relationship outside of tradition. Zayn is willing to support Selena's desires, so he seems to be very supportive of Selena in this relationship, which is nice. Zayn wants more stability. Met when both were looking for something different. Interesting. Zayn triggers Selena to explore her individuality. Zayn is attracted to Selena's unconventional qualities. And Selena challenges Zayn to be more unconventional. So this is actually quite nice so far in terms of their encouraging and supportive of each other. You know, encouraging each other to be themselves. Zayn's Sun conjunct Selena's Neptune. It's a very spiritual relationship. Zayn is fascinated by Selena. It seems to be that way so far. Intuitive communication and understanding. This relationship boosts Zayn's intuitiveness. I wonder if that's because Selena is a bit more sensitive, it seems like, and she kind of helps Zayn with that, or inspires Zayn to be that way as well. Selena is attracted to Zayn's straightforward nature. We kind of did see this before. I believe it was her that saw Zayn as too rational and selfish, so she seems to appreciate that more serious side of him. Both need to be careful to not confuse reality and illusions. Zayn's Sun sextile Selena's Pluto. There's a strong connection, they're more powerful together, they comfortably share secrets. I'm not surprised, they seem to feel comfortable with each other. They're drawn to each other in a magnetic way. Selena's Sun trines Zayn's Pluto. It's transformative, it's a productive relationship we see again. They're fascinated with each other. We saw this from Zayn's end before. They both want to get to know each other deeply, and Zayn inspires Selena to dramatically transform herself. This is interesting. Zayn really inspires Selena in that way. This is very interesting. Like, this relationship so far, there's so much to indicate that Selena is very much like changing herself so much because of Zayn, and it seems to be coming from a better place of Zayn is like fascinated with her and encourages her to be herself, so that's nice. So now it's time for Moon. So we have Zayn's Moon in Virgo and Selena's Moon in Aries. Selena's brash nature makes Zayn anxious. I want to skew this a little bit. I feel like this could potentially be due to Selena's sensitivity. Just from what we've seen so far, potentially that could be what is making Zayn a bit more anxious. Need to adjust to each other on a daily level. Selena doesn't understand Zayn's worrying nature. also want to skew this a bit. Potentially, maybe she doesn't understand why he's so practical and rational. Support each other with their strengths. We keep seeing a supportive element. Zayn's criticism makes Selena feel discouraged. Interesting, because so far we're seeing a bit of the opposite. But maybe potentially this could be coming from a place where he wants to improve Selena, which could go either way. Hopefully we'll see a bit more. Zayn's moon in Selena's second house. Zayn values Selena as a source of emotional satisfaction. Interesting. Selena may feel unsure about Zayn. Selena may become possessive of Zayn. They both see each other as valuable and it's a practical relationship. Selena's moon in Zayn's 12th house. There's a lack of trust. I assume this would be on Selena's end with what we've seen so far with her being a bit possessive of Zayn. Selena feels that Zayn is hiding something. Zayn senses Selena's suspicions. No logical base for this lack of trust and paranoia. Difficult for them to deal with wounded feelings. Zayn's moon conjunct Selena's Jupiter. Easy to overdo and be excessive. Relationship of opportunities and fortune. I mean, we have been seeing that sort of bit of a work productive element to this relationship, potentially connected to that. We'll see more. Positive influence as a couple. Interesting. They need to learn balance, they take risks as a couple. Zayn feels luckier and more adventurous around Selena. Selena expands Zayn's way of thinking about life. So it's nice that both of them are kind of influencing each other to sort of improve themselves, it seems like. They support people in need, so potentially this is where they have a positive influence as a couple. Zayn's moon trines Selena's Uranus. They both feel free to express themselves. I definitely see that that's what we've been seeing in the reading so far. Selena is more open around Zayn. Ideas of unconventional setup bring them together. Can cope with sudden changes together. There's a level of unpredictability. This could be potentially linked to how they are separated at key moments. Selena feels safe around Zayn. They enjoy talking about social issues. This is interesting repeated. Like, they seem to be very, like, socially oriented. I'm not sure if they have, I don't even know if they're official as a couple, but I wonder if that will be something if they ever do become officially in the public as a couple. This is something that'll come up. Mutual friends may bring them together, which doesn't surprise me. They probably do run in similar circles. Zayn's moon trines Selena's Neptune. Zayn picks up on Selena's needs, kind of going back to how he's in this relationship, he's a bit more intuitive. They inspire each other, definitely makes sense. It's a mystical meeting. So far, this seems to be a fairly positive kind of meeting. Like, they both met when looking for something different, and mutual friends bring them together, and I believe they suddenly met each other as well. So generally, it doesn't seem to be that bad. Like, it seems to be a normal meeting. Art is a shared interest. They sense each other's feelings. They share a sensitive and mystical worldview. Avoiding abuse of substances may be part of the relationship. Both uncover the other's blind spots. Zayn's moon sextile Selena's Pluto. Their relationship feels faded. Both of their irrational sides come out. Strong bond, we see again. Relationship presents opportunity for both to heal from the past. Okay, we're starting to see a bit more of a deeper side, which is good. Intense meeting, we kind of have been seeing, I guess, with the mystical meeting, and the relationship feels faded. Involved in organizations together. This is interesting. I don't think we've seen anything like this repeated in other readings where there's a sense of like socially minded couple. Selena's moon is square Zayn's Uranus. Selena is possessive of Zayn. This keeps coming up. Like, I assume this is where both of their irrational sides come out. This is where Selena, I guess, gets a bit more rational, just being very possessive of Zayn. Relationship can begin suddenly. We see again. Selena feels emotionally insecure around Zayn. Potentially because Zayn, he doesn't feel very emotional in this relationship. I don't believe in my other readings, he's felt particularly emotional either. Selena's moon squares Zayn's Neptune. Misunderstand each other's signals. There's a possibility of neglecting each other, potentially because, you know, not only Zayn being lacking that emotional care, I guess you could say, but also how they're separated at times. It's a confusing relationship. I can kind of see it from there, and because so far it does seem to be generally good, but I feel like they do have their challenges in terms of, you have Zayn, he seems to be very detached and not very emotional, and you have Selena, who's very attached and quite emotional and sensitive. Selena is unsure of Zayn's intentions. I don't blame her. I mean, we haven't seen anything particularly with either of them if they have any other intentions, so difficulty maintaining relationship. Yeah, as I said, I feel like with both of their natural natures, with how they naturally are, it definitely makes sense. Like, I feel like it is good, but at the same time, you know, it does make sense that they would have the difficulties. Selena is sensitive to Zayn's mood, so both of them are quite sensitive to each other. So now it's time for Mercury. You have Zayn's Mercury in Capricorn and Selena's Mercury in Leo. Zayn encourages Selena to focus on physical aspects of life, as we've been seeing. Selena resents Zayn for his criticism. He's very critical. We keep seeing this. Zayn sees Selena as impractical. Selena sees Zayn as someone with no vision. I kind of don't blame her. Like, from what we've seen in this reading, Selena does seem to be very much the one with the vision and, you know, the goals and everything. And Zayn kind of seems to be the cheerleader rather than being the one with the goals and visions and everything. Like, I know we have seen, like, they encourage each other and, like, it's a bit more of a productive relationship. We just have seen that lean more towards Selena's end as being the one with the, you know, the drive. Help each other with their strengths. Zayn's Mercury in Selena's 6th house. Zayn's mind is stable around Selena. Zayn communicates with Selena practically. Selena thinks that Zayn is reliable. I'm not surprised. Selena sees Zayn as a stable companion. And it kind of is going back to the beginning, how we saw it's quite a secure relationship. Selena's Mercury in Zayn's 5th house. Selena is like the sun to Zayn. Selena makes Zayn's day. Not a boring relationship. Yeah, there's nothing stale about this relationship, so I see that. They both encourage each other, as we see again, and there's easy communication. We haven't seen anything too concerning specifically to communication. You know, we do have the, like, different natures. One's very realistic, one's not so much. But nothing specific with communication. Zayn's Mercury trines Selena's Jupiter. Selena is enthusiastic about Zayn's thoughts and ideas, but it seems like he doesn't really follow through with them. Maybe we'll see more. Strong friendship, they have positive and inspiring conversations. Selena can be too lenient with Zayn. I'm getting the feeling that Selena is very much the driving force in this relationship. Like, I'm just seeing she's in the driver's seat, Zayn is very much in the passenger seat. That's the sort of vibe I'm getting from these two. Selena introduces Zayn to new ways of thinking. We see again, there's an optimistic meeting. Zayn helps Selena with self-expression. We see again, they enjoy traveling together. Business together is advantageous, and they come from different cultures. I believe both of them were from a bit of a poorer background, but you do have Selena, who's, I believe she is from a Hispanic background in America, and then you have Zayn, who's from a Pakistani background in England, so kind of very different with their cultures. Zayn's Mercury conjuncts Selena's Uranus. Selena challenges Zayn's way of thinking. They both enjoy experimenting. They come up with original ideas together. They're impulsive together. Discover new ways of seeing the world together. I definitely see that more so for Zayn, because Selena seems to be the driving force behind this. Zayn truly understands Selena's originality. This is a nice thing that keeps coming up. I actually appreciate this, how Zayn is very much appreciative of Selena and encouraging of Selena to be herself. They're creative together, they grow intellectually together, share an interest in unusual topics. I think we did see before they enjoy more spiritual things together, so that's, you know, unusual to the general consensus. They casually talk about taboos, and they find uncommon solutions to problems. Zayn's Mercury conjuncts Selena's Neptune. Spirituality is prioritized. It's a telepathic-like connection. So I assume this is where the unusual interests come in together, and, like, they are a bit more sensitive to each other. Zayn helps Selena turn her dreams into reality. As I said, this is very nice. I wish we did see a bit more with Zayn pushing it, like, and being a bit more, you know, taking charge of his own life, but it is nice that, you know, he's helping Selena with that habit of telling the other what they want to hear. There's deceptive and exaggerative communication. Interesting. Zayn finds Selena confusing. I assume this would be emotionally so. Not even emotionally so, but how she's a bit less realistic. Hard to talk about practical matters. Yeah, I see that. Like, I feel like they really don't agree on that. Like, one is very much headstrong in reality, the other one is not so much so. They're compassionate towards each other. Selena's Mercury sextiles Zayn's Jupiter. Zayn appreciates Selena's thoughts and ideas. There's open communication. there's a strong friendship we do see again. Zayn often gives Selena the benefit of the doubt. I assume that would be a softening factor for him to like sort of deal with Selena's lack of practicality, because that he's very much practical. Business together is beneficial. They enjoy traveling together. There's an optimistic meeting. They love to laugh together, and they intellectually stimulate each other. Selena's Mercury opposite Zayn's Saturn. Selena needs to be patient with Zayn. I'm seeing this in terms of like, so I don't want to be mean to Zayn. It's just from what we've seen in this reading, he seems to be very docile. I think at the beginning we did see Zayn is submissive. He seems to be quite docile here. Compared to Selena, who seems to be the driver here, she seems to be, you know, doing her own thing. And this could be linking back to how Selena's a bit too lenient with Zayn. I think she is a bit lenient, and I think she actually is a bit patient with his sort of lack of drive. Deep respect for the other's intelligence, which we have been kind of seeing. They do seem to respect each other's thoughts and ideas and everything. Selena may feel intimidated by Zayn's practicality. This is a big issue here. Selena might feel like a child around Zayn. I kind of do see that, not only with the practicality thing, but the whole dynamic with Zayn being very encouraging and supportive of Selena, really nurturing of her. It can kind of be a parent-child dynamic depending on how you want to see it. Natural communication is difficult. Yeah, I see that. I feel like they do have their key differences. So far we haven't seen anything too tremendously bad with their communication. Strong and long-lasting, and both partners subconsciously enjoy the conflict. Okay, another great softening factor. So now we're on to Venus. We have Zayn's Venus in Pisces and Selena's Venus in Leo. They're generous with each other. Zayn doesn't give Selena the devotion she wants. I don't know what to think about this, because Zayn in this reading does seem to be very devoted to Selena. Potentially Selena just has a bit of high standards and Zayn's not fulfilling her standards. But also potentially maybe it doesn't feel as much, or, you know, it kind of gets interpreted by Selena to not be as much, because he also does seem to be quite critical of her and like very practical, which doesn't seem to go well with Selena. Selena is flattered by Zayn's dependency. See, this seems to be an interesting thing that has come in. Zayn seems to be a bit more docile here, and we saw she's a bit more lenient with him. The whole thing with her being patient, I feel like she's very patient with him. Like, maybe in terms of him being very practical, she doesn't like that. She needs to be more patient with his practicality. Zayn gets easily hurt by Selena, and Selena wants Zayn to be more honest. I don't think in terms of criticism, but in other ways potentially. Zayn's Venus in Selena's 8th house. Zayn is captivated by Selena, we keep seeing. Zayn is willing to do anything for Selena. Selena has fantasies specific to Zayn. It's a transformative relationship we see again. Selena's Venus in Zayn's 5th house. Selena sees Zayn as perfect. Selena is forgiving of Zayn's faults. This is a nice element that has come through, hasn't it? Zayn appreciates the admiration from Selena. They are both satisfied here. I see that. I feel like even with their key differences, I don't think they are very, like, resentful of each other. Zayn may take advantage of Selena. I feel like that would just, him being dependent on her. Zayn's Venus opposite Selena's Jupiter. It's a promising relationship. I guess so. They share an optimistic life together. I see that they're generous with each other, particularly on Selena's end. They both have a problem with promising more than they can give. There does seem to be that element to the relationship of, like, we did see earlier, they should be both careful not to confuse reality and illusions. Because we have just seen they both have a habit of telling each other what they want to hear. So there does seem to be a disconnect with reality and the illusions. Selena's Venus, Sextile Zayn's Jupiter. They're materially successful, we see again. Zayn finds Selena interesting, we kind of see again, he really likes her. They have an ability to get over issues. They see the good in each other. Yeah, it's a relationship of growth. I see that. Like, we did see a couple times earlier how, like, this relationship presents an opportunity for both to, like, heal from the past and everything. But also particularly for Selena, she seems to really grow as a person here. They trust each other. They thrive in each other's company. And they're a socially popular couple. Honestly, I'm actually really liking this pair in terms of what they could be potentially for the public, because we have been seeing, like, not just now them being popular together, but also how they're a good influence as a couple. And we did see there is that humanitarian element to them with them supporting people in need and everything like that. So now we're into Mars. We have Zayn's Mars in Cancer and Selena's Mars in Taurus. They both get suddenly argumentative when provoked. They depend on each other, particularly Zayn. They both have stubborn tendencies. This is where I don't want to say the issues come in, but I mean, it kind of is, I guess, depending on how you see it. You know, they both seem to be very stubborn with the types of people they are, which, you know, is understandable and makes sense, but it seems to be stubborn to a fault. Zayn is protective of Selena. I think we did see this from both ends repeated before, so they're both very protective of each other. Selena is patient with Zayn. We see again Zayn's Mars in Selena's 12th house. Selena feels uncomfortable around Zayn. I wonder in what way. I assume maybe in terms of he seems to be quite critical of her. They fight each other. I assume this would relate to how they both can get suddenly argumentative. Zayn brings out a hidden side of Selena, which I would say makes sense. Like, she seems to really change as a person. He dramatically transform herself, as we saw. Zayn feels drained by Selena. Relationship forms from having to protect one another. This is interesting because we have kept seeing they're very protective of each other. So I wonder if this is the case, why are they protecting each other? Selena wants to protect Zayn, and Selena sees the more fragile part of Zayn. Yeah, Selena, as I've been saying, she seems to be very much the drive in this relationship. Like, she's very much the nurturer, sort of the more dominant one, I would say. We did see Zayn is a bit more submissive in the beginning, but also throughout this reading, he does seem to be a bit more of the docile one. Selena's Mars in Zayn's first house. There's lots of sexual tension. Selena inspires Zayn to be more brave. Selena encourages Zayn to be proud of who he is. Selena is blunt with Zayn. So we've only seen this once from Selena, but from Zayn we have seen this a few times, how he's critical. Potentially why they're argumentative, they don't have a filter around each other. And Zayn has a desire to seduce Selena. Zayn's Mars sextile Selena's Jupiter. Selena encourages Zayn to assert his independence. I don't think he's doing that though. Competitive, I believe we did see this healthy competitiveness, but that was one other time. Zayn feels more energized by Selena. They encourage each other to engage in controversial behavior. I believe we did see before they encourage each other. No, they both experimented with each other, so that's where it would be. They like to try new things together as repeated, and they have a lot in common, and they have a lot of fun together, which we did see before. They're a bit adventurous together. Zayn's Mars opposite Selena's Uranus. Zayn needs to learn not to take Selena's actions personally. This is a side comment. You know, we have been seeing in this relationship constantly, Zayn is the more practical one, whereas Selena seems to be more emotional and whatever. I feel like that is, I guess, his nature, like his sort of character. Realistically so, like when it comes to being actual practical, I don't think he seems to be that way, because he seems to be quite docile and dependent on Selena. Selena seems to be the one with all the visions and goals, whereas Zayn doesn't. Frequent arguments. So yeah, there seems to be an element of arguing in this relationship frequently. Zayn's Mars opposite Selena's Neptune. Opposite approaches to taking risks. We see the risk element again, and it makes sense because they both seem to be quite opposite in nature. They act out sexual fantasies together. I assume this will be linking back. I think it was Selena that had specific fantasies to Zayn. Argue about the differences between their wants. Okay, I guess this is where the root of the issues come from. Them being very blunt around each other as well. So Zayn's Mars trine Selena's Pluto. It's intense. They accomplish a lot together, we have been seeing, but I feel like this is more from Selena's end. Enjoy the power play between them. There's lots of primitive energy. They both go for big changes here. Potential for both to get possessive. We did see this a lot on Selena's end. Zayn helps bring out Selena's subconscious to the surface. She really grows and develops here, doesn't she? Like, she's very, like, I don't want to say very different, but like, I feel like she really changes a lot as a result of this relationship, which seems to be for the better. Selena's Mars opposite Zayn's Pluto. It's a transformative relationship we've seen for the billionth time. Selena's directness triggers Zayn's inner issues. I feel like both of them I feel like it seems like Selena is just very blunt around Zayn, like no filter as such, but then Zayn's very critical of Selena. I feel like that sort of direct natures that they both have, it seems to trigger the other. They both dig into each other's psyche. So that was the final aspect. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, give this video a like, subscribe to my channel for more videos from me, and click the bell if you want to get more, get notified when I upload, sorry. And yeah, that is all I guess I have to say today. I will see you guys next time. Bye!